what direction would you point people who identify that as their top challenge, understanding differences among global jurisdictional regulatory requirements? What direction would you point those people to overcome that challenge, to better understand differences among global? I mean, I know it's it's never a, oh, I got that figured out. It's not a finite problem to figure out, right? It's a constantly changing and evolving. What is the best resource to sort of stay at the forefront? And this is where Dr. Chamow says, well, Alira Health, of course.
Well, we're not the only game in town. But what I was going to say is the way you do this is you recognize the limits of your own knowledge and experience, and you seek out those who have done this before. And so it could be. I mean, one of the points I wanted to make in response to a question from Elena about CDMOs and helping having them help file in new countries is your CDMOs. One of the questions you want to ask of them when you select them is, do they have regulatory experience in filing the countries of interest to you for your product? And if the answer to that is no, then that may be it may not be a CDMO you want to go to unless there are compelling reasons otherwise to want to select them. But I mean, there are those of us who do this for a living, who offer advice and consulting help to companies that are developing products and take advantage of us. I mean, we're here to help you answer these kinds of questions. So, as Matt says, I should probably tell you to come to Alira Health, and I will tell you to come to Alira Health. But we're not alone here. There's lots of other companies that are equally competent and offer similar advice. And my advice is use any of us. So that there are resources out there, and take advantage of them.
Dr. Pluschkell, anything to add there?
Well, I mean, first of all, yeah, I completely agree with Steve. I think it is just it's a self-inflicted speed bump not to go work with people or try to learn as much as possible from people and organizations who've done it before. At the same time, you still got to own your own strategy. And I think something that we haven't mentioned here is about how to understand differences and learn is those agencies that allow you to ask for meetings, such as the FDA, right? And Europe also, elsewhere. Not everywhere, I realize, but in certain areas, you can certainly ask, right? You can ask for a meeting, you can ask questions and think about what kind of questions you want to ask. Sometimes people shy away from asking the real questions and just put the ones in that they already know the answer to. That's not the best use of that kind of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And the last thing I will say, think about what you're actually intending to do. I had learned in the past from a head of regulatory CMC that I used to report to, that he did not think sending in an IND and getting no questions back was necessarily the ideal way of doing things. So you got to think about that, right? You don't want to get the same questions over and over and over again and run your head in the wall. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot manage questions when they come.